Hey everyone, Jared here from Mediover, and happy Halloween! I'm here with,
Jennifer! Woo!
and today we're talking about Kitarō. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's Japanese, and I just barely started learning it, so yeah, forgive me. Um, so a little backstory on the show. The show started back in 1968. It's its 50th year anniversary at the time of this recording. And we thought it's a good old Monster of the Week show. We thought we should do it for Halloween. Particularly because Bendy's not out yet for a console.
Yeah, he's really bitter about that.
So with the show, so here though we're only talking about 2018, and also at the time of this recording, we're only up to episode I think 29. Yeah, we're on 28. 29 comes out soon, but and it's gonna be out by the time we finish recording this. But yeah, we're just recording kind of in advance, so excuse me. But I'll mention episode 29, what little we know about it, and then I'll do a follow up to this video eventually. But personally, I think the show's great, and I just want to put something out there about it because I don't think it has gotten the traction that it should have. Jennifer hasn't seen it, but
No.
hence the point of the show. I describe things that happen, but it's a Monster of the Week formula, and I'll be showing Jennifer pictures of the monster. You guys won't be able to see it, but Google it yourself. Do your own research. Watch the show yourself. Okay, so the first episode, we get it starts off with a guy in the streets, and he's trying to disturb traffic just to get views for his online social medias.
One of those idiot YouTubers.
Yeah. So, yeah, but all of a sudden he turns into a tree, like you do.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. I hear stuff like that happens in Japan all the time anyway.
And so naturally, the people who are around that see this guy turn the tree, they go on social media. A tree just popped up in the middle of the street. Lol.
Lol. I mean, seriously. People are way too addicted to their phones nowadays.
Well, this is a commentary on that. You're not freaked out that a human being just turned into a tree. You're not going to run in terror. You just take pictures of it for online.
Crazy.
So, of course, so those people are taking pictures of everything, start turning into trees themselves, and before you know it, you have an entire forest in the middle of the city. So, of course, all this makes, with everybody putting on media, the word gets out. And some little boy's freaking out because he blames the yokai. And kids are teasing him for that. Meanwhile, there's one person, a neighbor of his, and 13-year-old girl, I think she is. I don't think they actually specify her age. She listens to the boy and sends a letter in this yokai mailbox to get help from another yokai.
Because there just happens to be a yokai mailbox around?
No, apparently a crow picks it up and takes it too.
Ah, okay. Because that's so much, it makes even more sense.
And so they send it off. At first, nothing happens. But later that night, Mana hears somebody following her going clip clop. Footsteps going clip clop, like you do. Mm-hmm. And then anyway, so she finds that the character GeGeGe no Kitarō, sorry if I'm still pronouncing that right, basically he's there, he got the letter, and basically he describes the world of the yokai. Basically, Mana shows them what's going on from her phone, and they're just amazed that there's cell phones.
Oh, man, they must be out of touch from the world for a while.
Well, yeah. Well, his dad, who traveled around his hair, he's an eyeball. And he just kind of sticks out of the hair, and he kind of has like a naked baby body. That he runs around in. And they call him Daddy Eyeball San.
Yeah.
So, long story short, because they don't go into it that much in this series, but apparently Kitaro's backstory is that his mom died while he was while he was still in the womb, but he was born anyway in the graveyard.
Yeah.
So that turned him into a yokai. And his dad loved him so much, and he died previously, that his eyeball is the last rotted part of his body that hasn't rotted yet. So he was able to put his entire soul in the eyeball and become a yokai that way to take care of his son.
Aww.
Just like you do.
Because obviously.
So he's just like eyeball with tiny. But yeah, he's just the dad's particularly memorized by the phone, so they go. And it's like, oh, okay, it's vampire trees.
All right then.
Okay, it's the vampire trees. The trees grow off of people's blood.
Yeah, I've heard about those trees before. Terrifying idea.
Then well, a lot of it is just like forests that popped up from more. That's where the idea comes from in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So the seeds are being planted by a creature, Nabogari. Sorry for my pronunciation. It's still awful. I'm showing Jennifer a picture of him right now. How would you explain that
Let's
monster?
See. It's a big, transparent floating ball.
It's actually not a ball. It's a cylinder.
Really? It's a cylinder?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's got one big red eye and a bunch of little transparent hands coming out, about 6 that I can see from here.
Yeah, so apparently this creature starts planting seeds, and they go fight it in the kind of sewer, it looks like to me. In it. I'm sorry, my voice is starting to go. But yeah, so so it's in the sewer, or whatever construction yard, and apparently this monster is able to plant seeds in Kitarō, the main character.
Okay.
And so eventually the other yokai escapes and they go home, and so the main character turns into a tree.
Wow.
But then he's able to dig his way out somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to turn another yokai into a yokai tree.
Well, this happens a lot at first, where basically the monster of the week kills him in some way, but he just comes back.
Well, considering he was born in a graveyard, I guess it takes a lot to keep him down.
Well, he does go down, but he just keeps getting back up. So, this way that gets worse later on. But
all right.
So he basically comes back, fights the yokai again. Mana starts being able to see yokai because she starts believing in yokai. There's something a rule like that never comes up again. After this episode,
Believing is seeing. It's like Rise of the Guardians, but twisted.
So basically, they go back, fight the monster again. You can see more of Kitaro's. I keep thinking I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, you see more of his abilities. So he has several abilities. So apparently he has control over his vest, which is black and yellow striped, and he can put it around his fist and it becomes like hard or something like that, and he can just kind of block the fabrics of it. Yeah.
Okay.
He can shoot needles out of his hair. And he can fly around his wooden shoe as a remote control airplane.
Wow. Okay. Because obviously that's what a yokai born from a graveyard can do.
Apparently, I don't. I've started watching the older series, and he actually has more abilities in the older one, but these are the 3 primary ones he uses in this one. Then, and that's basically, yeah, so they feed the monster, Eri goes home happy. The people who return to trees turn back to normal.
And it's probably immediately start updating their status.
Exactly. Good times. Good times. Okay, so the next one is that, okay, so at the beginning of the episode of, so a lot of so throughout the series, there's a lot of monsters that are trapped by enchantment, so basically a piece of paper attached to a rock or whatever. And it's like, if you get rid of this piece of paper, it will...
Release the monster. Release the hounds.
Precisely. So the first one, the YouTuber guy, was the guy who released the first monster because he did it for the views.
Okay.
The second one is actually another... This guy's actually half yokai.
Mm-hmm.
They call him Ratman in this one, but I know in earlier ones they called him by like a full Japanese name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna still call him Ratman just because that's so much easier for me as an American.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Japan, but I struggle with Japanese. I'm trying to learn, okay? He pees on a rock, destroying the seal.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so... And this monster lets out, and he wants to devour... he wants to devour... like 10,000 people so he can take over Japan. Or basically, what he does is he takes their soul and sends it to heaven so he can take over Japan somehow. It doesn't really add up.
Yeah.
This guy started out small, but he can grow big, and somehow he can actually create valuables. He looks like a Cyclops, basically.
Pretty much.
With a purple face.
And wearing a nice robe.
So... Yeah. Well, so what he does, he takes Ratman, basically gives a bunch of riches to go buy a record dealership.
Okay.
So he, basically, people who make records.
Mm-hmm.
Record deals. Goes buys one of those houses so he can make a concert. He have 10,000 people in one stadium at once, so he can send all their souls to basically to the next world.
Well, that's actually... probably is the easiest way to go about it. Just do it
Except
all
he
at
failed.
once.
He got 3 short.
And it had to be all at once. You couldn't just make up those last 3 later. Or...
So basically, Mana sends a message to basically says a message. Yokais are making people disappear. Okay, we're on it.
Yeah.
Probably another character I should introduce. I can't remember her name either, but I call her Cat-san. That's what Mana calls her.
Okay.
Basically that's her right there.
Okay.
Purple hair, pink dress. She's apparently been in the series for a while. It's basically her relationship with Kitarō is the same as Sonic and Amy. It's very similar. She has a crush on him, but he doesn't notice her.
Has no interest.
Yeah, so not quite the same, but very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she was in the first episode, but didn't play that big of a role. In the first one, she's like, "I heard Kitarō die." No, he's still alive. How boring. Stuff like that. And by the way, Ratman is the one in the blue hood. Right there.
That one.
Yeah, that's Mana right there. Just so you know, showing pictures of Jennifer for her. Okay, so basically they go there, fight the monster. Kitarō gets sent to the next world too, but he's like, "I'm a yokai, I can come back." And it's completely pointless.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mana's there basically doing her cat-like abilities, so basically claws in her eyes change. That's about it.
Pretty cool.
Now this next one, after that is that there's actually 3 monsters in this one.
Oh.
So they changed things up in the 3rd episode. Basically, kids are disappearing. The usual.
Yeah.
Won't be the first time. It won't be the last.
I know. Why do they always go after the kids?
Kids are disappearing. Apparently, they need kids as the foundation for the yokai castle to bring them back into existence.
That's harsh.
What's actually kind of interesting is that this episode actually draws back to one of the original ones from 1968.
Really?
Yeah. They changed a few things. The monsters are exactly the same. The castle's still in the same design. It's just that they don't need kids in the first one.
I guess a lot can change in, 60 years?
Well, apparently, supposedly it's been stuck like that for 60 years. Okay, so the first monster is Tantabo, which is basically a giant head.
Wait, really? He's just the head?
Just a giant head.
Huh.
And he's the one who actually collects the kids for the foundation.
Does he, swallow them or something? Or how does he...
If I remember correctly, he kind of turns them to stone.
Huh. That's a Medusa head type thing.
Yeah. The second one is Kanakachi. I guess I'm sorry for trying. I'm just trying to pronounce these.
Ugh. That's creepy looking.
Yeah, so it's a guy where he looks like he's constantly trying to do like the beak lip thing that used to be popular for selfies. He's supposed to be part weasel. He's kind of hard to describe.
That it is. Oh.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what he had. He had like a special ability too. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Okay, here we go. Abilities under his wiki page. Kind of looks like he operates. He's most common as a trio weasels, sharp claws, right in on a gust of wind. People. Excuse me, cutting people. Okay, so basically, he can cut people, and he can fly.
That's a terrifying combination.
Then the last one is Futkuchi Ona. I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
Are those like snakes?
No, she has a mouth on the back of her head.
Okay.
And I remember there's a character in Miss Peregrine's house for...
Yeah, peculiar children.
Yeah, so I think she's one of these.
Yeah, most likely.
So, once again there as well. So basically, Kitarō or Mana basically, they're building this castle in a stadium for some reason, and she's the only one that can see like these weird pillars, and then she realizes that the missing kids are inside the pillars. Of course, so and when she goes out there at night to get a closer look, and she gets caught, and so she becomes one of the pillars, and so it's basically all the main characters there trying to fight these 3 yokai.
Yeah.
To do it, and probably right now is a good time to describe the other characters. So another character, one of them I can't remember. I don't have a name for. I can never remember it, but he's like a flying cloth. That character.
Huh. Okay.
Then you have Sandwich. She throws sand.
Does it do anything, or is it just gets in people's eyes?
It's magic, whatever. Then you have let's see, Old Man Crybaby.
Okay.
He can turn to stone.
How is that helpful?
Basically, he can get on your shoulders and turn to stone in your...
Ow!
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that actually is a smart way to use that.
He's always drunk. There's never a time when he's not drunk in the series.
Wow.
And him and Sandwich are kind of like an old married couple. I'm not sure if that's what they're going. That's what they feel like, but I'm not sure if they are married or not.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last character, he's so big, he's usually left out of the room. Wally Wall.
Well,
he's a wall. Nothing.
Makes sense. It's a brick or cement.
A wall.
It's just a wall. Doesn't matter.
He has like short legs and short arms. He kind of looks like he's supposed to be like a T-Rex, but somehow he's able to
do things.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So, the next one. Okay, the kid I mentioned the first one about his he knew the story and saying was a yokai. His name's Yuta.
Yuta.
And he finds out that Mana actually knows about GeGeGe no Kitarō.
Mm-hmm.
And so she takes him to the entrance of the GeGeGe forest, which is where all the yokai live in peace, or at least the peaceful ones live there.
Okay.
And he accidentally wanders in.
Why would... Well, that's what happens when you take him there.
Take him to the entrance, and he goes in.
Yeah.
And so Mana's left there trying to find him. Meanwhile, almost everybody out of the forest wants him gone except for Daddy Eyeball-san, which is like, let's give him a tour. And everybody's like, fine. So they start showing him around, and he impresses them because he has a large knowledge of yokai.
Mm-hmm.
So he impresses them and basically wins them over. But then he comes across a tree with some fruit. So he takes the fruit.
You never take fruit from a demon forest. That's like horror movie 101.
Well, he does it. Apparently he's never seen a horror movie. Because now the forest, like some monster in the forest starts freaking out.
I know. Well, yeah, because it's probably alive at some point. All trees are alive, but, it's a demon tree. It's even more alive and more likely to kill you.
So, this is what that yokai you took the fruit from looks like.
Creepy looking.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe that thing.
It looks like it's a wood carving.
I guess so. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also you meet like a bunch of other ones like Araba Samushi. But the one that took the fruit from is GeGeGe. And he also got like Araba Sushi. Basically, he looks like he's just an egghead.
Oh.
And you got
literally.
No, this is Bito-san. He's invisible, and you basically every time you hear footprints are behind you, he's following you.
Oh.
He's basically a bubble with mouth and legs. It kind of looks like his braces in the anime.
Yeah, it does.
And what you're supposed to do is let him pass you, otherwise he'll eat you.
So you just if you hear footsteps, you just stop.
Get off the side and say, "Go ahead and pass me." So.
Huh. I mean, most people, if they hear random footprints and no one there, they stop anyway.
Well, the thing is, this happens multiple times in the series, and it's only ever him once.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, how are you supposed to know which yokai is supposed to be following you?
Yeah, but...
I'll get to the later one when Mana happens to Mana.
Because I'm sure she tries to let whoever it is pass, and they end up killing her or something.
Okay, so then they have the disaster of the electric yokai. In this one, Ratman, he made a bad deal with some gangs, and so they throw him off a building.
Obviously.
Because they're not getting their money back from Ratman. However, when he's falling, he cries out to basically the lightning yokai, Kanamari. He comes in with his own planet somehow, and it's just like...
Oh, wow.
How would you describe him?
Almost, he's a big buff dude with like a troll face, I guess you would call it. Maybe ogre. And some kind of like ring. It looks like a teething ring, a giant teething ring on his back. I don't know what else you would call that thing.
Yeah, so He summons him, and he gets really upset because apparently he was a mistake summoning him. Where man's like, wait, I think he has an idea. He makes a business deal.
Because obviously the last deal worked out so well for him.
He gets a loan and he sets up an electric company. This little yokai can create lightning, so he can generate electricity by drumming.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea though.
But the thing is, this yokai believes he's a god.
Oh, so he's not gonna like that. Not being.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think he thinks he should get his way no matter what because he's providing them electricity.
Yeah.
So he wants to marry the news reporter that's reporting on the cheap electricity that this company's been making.
Oh.
And she refuses, and basically a fight ensues.
Yeah.
Then, okay, this one is probably one of the most sad ones. So there's an old lady living out in a small village. Her husband's died, and her son took off to live in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Left her. And so she gets a cat.
Aw. Like old ladies do. I love cats.
But it's not a cat.
Of course it is.
It's a yokai.
Is
That's sucking her energy away.
Aw, this is terrible.
But it's not the cat's fault. The cat actually thinks it's a cat. The cat doesn't think it's.
It doesn't know.
That's doing this to me.
That's terrible.
So.
Because it probably loves her then.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, he's so cute.
A small cat that's mostly white with orange and black spots.
Calico, I believe, is the correct term.
Okay, I want to know.
It's so cute.
The cat's name is Tsunakoshi, or that's the cat's yokai species. Let's see. Yeah, so so this cat can also kind of turn into what it looks like a wolf monster thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it scares people away from the old lady with that ability.
And protects her. And stuff.
Yeah, so... But Kitarō comes in and kind of explains, like, hey, you're making her sick.
Aww.
And the cat calls her mom and everything.
Oh,
so.
and you have to leave her?
Yeah.
That is so sad.
But basically, the cat runs off into the woods, leaving her.
Mm-hmm.
The old lady goes after the cat.
Oh.
The son comes back from Tokyo, finds that she's gone, and goes after her. And then, basically, the old lady gets attacked by a bear in the forest. The cat comes back and saves her from the bear. Then the son comes and starts trying to protect his mom from...
The cat.
So the cat reunited her with her son.
Aww. I mean, it's still bittersweet ending, because obviously the cat loved her. It's so sad.
But the cat goes and lives with... in the GeGeGe no Fortress with Kitarō and all his buds.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is probably one of the most sad ones.
I know. It's like, aw, loved her and you couldn't be with her.
Okay, so then the next one is probably one of the most creepy ones. It's called Ghost Train.
Yeah, that could.
So this entire story is told from a new character's perspective. He's just called president because he's a president of the company during the entire episode.
Okay.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a guy. So the story starts off with a girl at the train station. She's texting one of her friends, and they're planning what they're going to do to bully a girl at school the next day.
Oh, I hate bullies.
Wait for that. So, but then meanwhile, a guy shows past her and basically gets hit by the train that's coming in.
Like he just ran out onto the train tracks?
I'll get to that. That stuff showed off camera at first, so hence I'll get to that. So it cuts to the company CEO. He's all prideful. He's the CEO of a small business. He has his assistant that's suck up to him and stuff like that. And he starts yelling at people on the street. Kitarō shows up. He's like, "You better be nicer to people. You're gonna get what's coming to you." He disappears. So late that night, he's on his way home, and his assistant's following him to go home, and they get on like the last train of the night. So they get on the train, and they just start get sit down and talk. They kind of big doze a little bit because Japanese work hours are all over. You're working long hours for it, and it can be very difficult. But the thing is, the train appears to be haunted. He's getting.
It's always haunted.
Like his assistant starts talking about an employee who committed suicide. He drowned himself, and he's like, "Oh, look, there he is." He sits across the train. He's still dripping wet.
Because obviously that's what you talk about on a train.
And like all these ex-employees of his that have committed suicide pop up on the train.
Because he's been like driving them to suicide or something, or what?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that can't be good for him.
And he's on it, and apparently the train, it's actually on its way to hell. This guy, he died a week ago, and he was hit by a train because all the souls of the people who've committed suicide on his behalf pushed him.
Oh, man, I don't know what to think about that. Because on one hand, it's poetic justice, but on the other hand, that's just creepy.
So that's... But then the episode ends where the girl that's texting on the train station that saw this was talking to Kitarō, and he explained the situation. So I was like, as long as you'll be fine, because this guy, he did a lot of bad things. He treated people poorly. And it's like, he's like, what a relief. But meanwhile, she's been texting about bullying this girl, and she realizes that this could happen to her. Yeah. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So this next one, it's kind of a very interesting one. Because, so Mana is on a field trip. They're going to go they're in the small villages in the village, just kind of cleaning up an old historical house. So basically, it's a living museum type thing in Japan.
Yeah.
She's there cleaning a mirror, but then some boys start using the brooms that they're using as swords, and she goes over and starts yelling at them, and starts chasing them, and starts whipping them with sticks.
Not that I blame the boys. I've done broomstick sword fights a lot too, so.
Yeah, so meanwhile, during this chase, they knock over a tombstone.
Oh boy. That's not good.
And then for the next little while, Mana, wherever she goes about her normal day afterwards, after putting this tombstone back up. She feels like she's being followed. Somebody's watching her.
Oh boy. So
she goes home. Meanwhile, Kitaro's going around because he feels a disturbance in the spiritual world, and he wants to know. Let's see. Okay. So, Mana basically texts Kat-san, because they both have phones, for help because she's being followed by someone. She goes home, and we see her going around the house seeing shadows all over the place.
That's creepy.
She runs up in her room and hides, and then she backs up against a mirror, and she gets pulled in.
Oh, that is creepy.
And so Kitarō and Kat-san in the game arrive at her house. They find that things are a mess there. They go up there upstairs and go into the mirror, and they see her in the mirror.
Is she like banging on it, trying to get out?
She's unconscious.
Oh, she's just unconscious in the mirror.
In the mirror.
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, there's only one yokai that we know that can enter mirrors, and that is Kamami GeGeGe. I don't know how to pronounce it. KAGAMI-JIJII. You tell me how to pronounce that, please. I don't know. So they believe it's him, but like he's friends with Sandwich and Old Man Crybaby. So since he's friends with them, he's like, there's no way he would ever kidnap anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, it's like, okay, come, can you take us to his home mirror? Because apparently he can travel between mirrors.
Yeah.
And he has one that's considered his home. So they go to his home mirror, and they get into the mirror dimension. Mana wakes up in the mirror dimension, sees him and runs off, and he chases after her.
Yeah.
Basically, and then she gets attacked by Gasha Dokuro.
Ooh, that creepy skeleton monster.
Giant skeleton monster.
Almost looks like an alien head, though.
And he has one red eye.
Yeah.
So he gets attacked by this creature. Turns out this is the creature from the tombstone they knocked over. And the guy in the mirror is trying to save her from him.
Oh, okay.
So they fight the skeleton. Takes a couple of tries, but they eventually get it. So,
yeah.
And it turns out the only reason the guy in the mirror did this because Mana cleaned his mirror. And the fact that she reminded him of his ex-wife.
Aww.
But then she said that he says the same thing about every girl, so.
Oh. Not as sweet then.
It's played for a joke.
I know.
Let's see. Then, So another company president is having a hard time with his employees because he's not paying them as nearly much as they should be paying, etc. The usual business crap.
Yeah.
So, Ratman finds this guy's dilemma, and he convinces the Kappas to go work for him for 3 cucumbers a day because the Kappas absolutely love cucumbers.
Okay.
And except the Kappas eventually find out that they're not being paid enough because like the minimum wage is not meeting up with each 3 cucumbers.
Yeah.
So they want more cucumbers. The president says no, because you're not human. You don't get human minimum wage, stuff like that.
Ooh. Never tell that to a demon that's working for you.
Okay, now this is where...